Hi, I'm Maggie Whitehouse, and this is a webinar on prosperity consciousness. Don't be put off. Well, you can be put off if you want to by the fact that I'm sitting here in a dog collar. One of the reasons why I'm sitting here in a dog collar to talk about prosperity is because the Christian faith has been responsible for a lot of misapprehensions, misinformation, and generally bad news about how we should feel about money. So I think it's kind of good to sit here in the official uniform, as it were, to try and put the record straight. And the dog collar, incidentally, according to my bishop, and I've no reason to disbelieve him, was actually originally the collar of Anubis. And that's the Egyptian god of the underworld, the jackal-headed god, who used to weigh the hearts of the dead before it was decided where they went after death, and he would weigh the heart of the person against a feather. And if the person's heart was heavier than the feather, that meant they hadn't led a happy life. So the only job of a priest or a minister really is to help people lift hearts, inspire them and give them hope. So with any luck, I might manage to do a bit of that today. I hope so. The reason why I'm doing this webinar is because the UK government, the Conservative government, has plans for massive welfare cuts. And I know that a lot of people who are on welfare or who are low income earners are really worried about that. So a few friends and I thought it might be a great idea if I sort of showed up and said, well, there are things you can do about it. They have to be inner things. Outer things change when you change the inner things. And another good reason for wearing the dog collar is so you don't think this is just a load of new age rubbish. It may have a little bit of background or ancient stuff behind it. Prosperity teaching is throughout the Bible. And you don't have to be religious, Christian, Jewish, Islamic, Hindu, Buddhist, or anything like that to benefit from the prosperity teaching in the Bible. And it's kind of useful to know that it's very ancient teaching. It's primordial teaching about how we deserve to be happy. And that includes financial prosperity, but financial prosperity is not all of it. What we all want is the experience of happiness. And in our modern world, money is essential for part of that. So we shouldn't despise money. We don't need to put great burdens on money. But trouble is, some of the religious teaching has really got us way off track. Now, who am I to be talking about this anyway? Well, nobody. But I happen to have written some books about prosperity. There's the Little Book of Prosperity and the Spiritual Laws of Prosperity and Prosperity Teachings of the Bible, and From Credit Crunch to Pure Prosperity. And I also was featured in my weekly magazine last month talking about first steps towards prosperity. Oh, and if you think my hair looks a bit like a hedgehog, I had a massage this morning. It was wonderful. There's nothing you can do about it but wash your hair. So, prosperity consciousness. And I will start with something from the Bible. There's a phrase in Deuteronomy that says, I call heaven and earth to bear witness on your behalf this day that I have placed before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that you and what you sow may live. And this is the basis of what the modern world would call the law of attraction. Choosing life over choosing death. And the trouble is that fear and worry, which are entirely understandable, and my goodness, I've been there, are choosing death. So what we need to do is learn how we can learn to choose life, no matter what the outside situation seems to be. And I think I better tell you also my personal situation. I've been more than £50,000 worth of debt in debt. I've lost my home. I've peeled potatoes in a pub to make on basic wage to make the rent. I've suffered from cancer. I've been on benefits. I've been pretty much where most of you have been or may be right now. And I'm okay. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not one of those prosperity gurus who's going to sort of gen you up and get you to earn millions of pounds. This kind of teaching is definitely going to help you, but I'm never going to promise to make anyone a millionaire. But I know from my own experience over more than 20 years that if you do this, it works. If you don't do it, it won't work. And if you just listen and think, there's some good ideas there, but you don't do them, it doesn't work. But the first point to get over is this idea of life and death, because There's an awful lot going on social media at the moment about being really unhappy and really afraid about what the government may be planning for the UK. Being angry and hating others is a bit like swallowing poison and wanting the other to die. It hurts you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be angry or upset or afraid. These are very, very valid emotions. But there's an ancient North American Indian teaching, which is very valid here, which is you may speak your trouble 3 times. And after that, you look for the solution. Because when we keep on going on about the problem starts getting bigger. We start joining clubs that talk about the problem. We talk about the problem in the pubs. We talk about it when we meet our friends. We talk about it on social media. We join groups against it. In my home city of Exeter, just up the road, there's a demonstration going to be going on against the cuts. Now, Mother Teresa had it right when she said, I will march for peace, but I will never march against war. Because what you put your mind on grows. What you ask for, you get. And we actually create. We are children of the Creator, so we are creators. We create what we most fear. Because if we go on and on and on and on and on about it, then we're going to create exactly that thing that we don't want. So the more we protest and get angry, the more we're going to move towards what we don't want. How does that work? It works on energy, or chi, as the Eastern religions would call it. And this is all the way through the Judaic Bible and the Christian Bible too, about where you want to be is where you must focus on. It's not easy. It's not how we've been trained to be. Because let's face it, a good bitch, a good gossip, and a good moan is really what keeps society together half the time. Because we can sort of relate to each other people's wounds. Oh yeah, I've been there. Oh my goodness, no, I wasn't given enough to live on either. I don't know how they think I can possibly live on that. And you've been there too. Yes, it's terrible, isn't it? It's awful. And then we get really wound into that. And we've only got so much energy in a day. We wake up with a certain allotted amount of energy. My cousin Jane taught me about, I think it's called spoon theory. If somebody has a devastating long-term disease or injury, they're taught that they only have so many spoons allotted in a day of energy. They've got to be very careful how they use it, because otherwise they're going to get exhausted and more ill. It's the same if you have something like fibromyalgia or ME. We have a certain amount of energy per day. We choose where we spend it. And if we're spending it in negativity, then our prosperity consciousness, the level of energy in our body and how we are even perceived by other people, drops to a level that cannot attract prosperity to us, whether it's happiness, health, love, or money. Now, that may seem very strange to you if it's the first time you've ever come across this. There's an awful lot on YouTube about prosperity consciousness that I'm sure you can find if you're willing to do it. However, I'm just going to give you some turnaround techniques that have worked for me. And I know they've worked for a lot of people because I've taught them on over the last 20 years to people who found them very helpful. Again, they'll work if you do it. They won't work if you don't do it. We can go into the science and metaphysics of it for hours, but really, if you're watching this, you're here for solutions. So let's go with the solutions. Is appreciation for life. And you can say, how can I appreciate my life? It hurts. I'm broke. Life sucks. I can't make the rent. I've been there. But actually, the first turnaround point is changing the point of energy into appreciating what you already have. And this is extraordinarily effective. Now, you mustn't do it through gritted teeth. I don't know about you, but I was told when I was a kid, you've got to be grateful for what you've got, dear, or grateful for the present that grandma gave you that you really, really didn't want. But there are things that we can appreciate in life, no matter how broke we are. And you know that there are people who've made it through circumstances as difficult as yours, who've come out the other side, who've had the miracle, or who've literally walked their way slowly up. You can do that too. You are worth it. You are strong and you are clever and you are wise. Why you're where you are if you're in a difficult place is mostly through training. You were not trained that you were good enough. You were not taught that you were good enough. And you may even have been taught that good people are not rich. Good people are not wealthy. That's a huge message that's gone out through the whole of Christian faith, that good people should be poor. Apart from the cathedrals and the Vatican, of course, but good people are poor people like Jesus. That's a whole other story, but Jesus was never poor. He could put out his hand and receive exactly what he needed from the universe, and so can you. Step one is appreciation. So I would recommend that you find things in your life that you truly do appreciate it, whether it's your dog or your cat or a cup of tea or the sun shining or flowers, anything like that, and try as much as you can to spend as many moments every day looking for the good in your life. This works energetically to draw more to you. Jesus of Nazareth said, ask and you will receive. And he said, ask believing and you will receive. Two different gospels, two different quotations. And it's absolutely true. But what we don't realize is that when we are focusing on what we don't want, we're still asking. We're still putting out that energy. God, the universe, the source energy, whatever you want to call it, doesn't do negatives. Whatever we focus on is what we're going to draw to us. So it makes good sense, and it makes you feel better. It makes us all feel a lot better if we focus on what we appreciate. Let me give you some examples. After being widowed and divorced, I'm very happily married. I am so appreciative of that. I have a lovely husband. He's a real bloke, but he's utterly gorgeous, and I'm so appreciative. Yes, we hack each other off at times, and there are always difficult times in every relationship, but I'm so glad I have him. I've got two beautiful beagles, both of whom are rescue beagles. Didn't cost me a penny, and that's because I do have a prosperity consciousness. People are always giving me things, and that's one of the ways that this can turn around from you. When you start being appreciative, things will turn around and people will find it easier to give to you, and you'll find you get lucky. And you could do with some luck right now. So what else do I appreciate? Today is a lovely sunny day. I have had a wonderful massage this morning. It was free. As somebody recovering from cancer, I get free massages from the local cancer support charity. And they're wonderful. Wonderful. It's free. What am I grateful for? I have a home. The rent this month is paid. I have a garden. My husband just mowed the lawn. There's the lovely scent of mown grass. I've got supper. I have food in the fridge. I've got the ability to be on Google. Hopefully I've got the ability to be of service and of help to you a little bit. I've got a clerical shirt with a dog collar. That's really nice. It's clothing. I've got other clothing. I've got warm sweaters, and I've got summer clothing. And I'm going to have a nice cup of tea when I finish this, and probably digestive biscuit with peanut butter, which is one of my treats. So, wow. I'm the luckiest woman in the world right now. Right now, I have everything I need. Yes, tomorrow may be different. But guess what? If you appreciate what you've got today, and if you can, do that before you go to bed each night, and again when you get up in the morning. And if you can give thanks for anything you've got, you're not thanking God for it. Well, you can if you want to. You're actually just saying, I have this. I have this blessing now, and you can feel yourself relax into it. You've really, really started to turn the whole situation around. Okay, number 2. This is an ancient system. It's called tithing. Now, it's also very misunderstood from the Bible. It's in every single prosperity book I've written. And sometimes people will write to me or email me and say, why have you repeated this? It's in your other books. And I'm always saying, because it's the most important thing you can do. Even more important than the appreciations. Tithing is literally how you choose to live your life and how you put out the energy of living your life. And a little bit before I tell you this is, one of the Christian faith issues is lack of self-worth. I was married to a Jewish man for a while, and I didn't find anything like the lack of self-worth in that faith that the Christian tradition has taught. We're taught that we must give to others, and that's great. We'd be a terribly sad world if we didn't. But we give at the cost of ourselves, and therefore we deplete ourselves, and therefore our energy goes down, and we lose our spoons. And when we give to others, if we give to others so that we're going to feel good about ourselves, it means that we have no self-worth. We need to give out of the joy of living. Now, that's a whole seminar in itself. But lack of self-worth can never bring good prosperity. It's worth. It's about worth. If you believe in angels, believe in God or anything, you have to have worth in yourself, believe it in yourself, to allow them to give to you. Quite often we will give to other people all the time because we feel virtuous about it. But to be able to give, other people have got to receive. So to learn to receive, which is a huge thing, especially for women, it's really important, because then you give other people the blessing of being able to give to you. So you have a duty to receive in order to give other people the blessing of being able to give to you. So enough already of turning away any compliments. Enough already of turning down gifts. If you don't want them, you can pass them on to the local charity shop. But receive, receive, receive. And how the tithing system works, certainly in the mystical tradition, is this. In the Bible, it says you give to God for celebration, and thirdly to others. This is in Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and also Numbers. But it was very clear in those days that you didn't give money. You gave produce. You gave what you already had, your increase. Now, most Christian churches now use it through money, and if you want to tithe with money, that's absolutely fine. But the way I've always taught tithing, which works for people really well on prosperity, is whenever you have an issue, and certainly every morning when you wake up, try and do things in this order. And it can take 25, 30 seconds. It's not going to take too much of your time. First, connect to whatever it is that inspires you. If nothing inspires you, if you're an atheist, and well done you for sticking this long for a woman in a dog collar, then just be appreciative of your life. Whatever inspires you may be a charity, it may be a person, it may be an event, it may be a book. But focus on what inspires you, because inspiration brings inspiration, the breath in, the breath of life. Inspiration gives you more life force. That's what it's there for. It's not there to make you think, I have to pray to God, I have to be grateful for things I don't want. It's to give you the breath of life, and the breath of life is grace. So when you start the day, do whatever inspires you. Even if that is just reading an inspirational text by the bed. I love Mike Dooley's Notes from the Universe. It's World Wide Web, tut.com, and they will send in inspirational notes from the universe into your inbox in your email every day. I also like Abraham Hicks, who will also send them. I believe Neil Donald Walsh does. Father Richard Raw, the Californian he's Franciscan father. He sends daily emails which are utterly inspirational. So look for inspiration in the morning, first thing. Then celebrate. Treat yourself, nurture you before you take care of anybody else. Even if that just means a cup of tea and a biscuit. Or I did say to somebody once who has children, and she said, I haven't got time for that. The children are all over me in the morning. I will say to her, 30 seconds. 1, connect. Whatever it is, maybe it's an instantaneous prayer. I love Florence Scovel Shinn's prayer. Thy will be done this day, O Lord. Today is a day of completion. I give thanks for this perfect day where miracle follows miracle and wonders never cease. And then eat a Cadbury celebration. Just a tiny piece of chocolate. And she's going, I can't eat chocolate at breakfast, before breakfast. Why not? If you love it, eat it. My preference is for blueberries, but that's because I'm on a health kick. But I can wake up in the morning, say that prayer, eat 4 blueberries, and then deal with the beagles, and then make a cup of tea, then get up, then go out and deal with the world. That is crucial, and it's all about self-worth. And you'll find it's extraordinary when it comes to prosperity. And do the third thing third. Everybody else comes third. First, the source. Second, nurturing, celebration. Third, everybody else. And whenever the day throws you, stop, take a minute, reconnect, celebrate, I mean, I like food. I'm a Korean. I love food. I'll go for food every time. You may prefer to go out and stare at the sunrise or stare at beauty in the garden, whatever it is that celebrates life. Then go back and deal with the emails. Then go back, give. Then go back, serve. Then go back, do your work. Take a break whenever you're uninspired and reconnect. It's vital. It works with money too in a fantastic way. Now, you don't have much cash probably, and I get that. I remember when I was so broke, I didn't know how I was going to make ends meet. I started this practice of tithing, and I do it with, not with 10%. That's what the Bible will tell you, but it's 10% of your increase. And if you're just on survival level, you haven't got an increase. But whenever you get anything coming in, let's say it's a benefit. If you have an online bank account, it's going to come into your bank account. Create 2 little savings accounts on your online bank account. And when the money comes in, don't beat yourself up about doing this in any way, shape or form. Try and make it fun. Go to the online banking account and move £1 into one of the savings accounts and another £1, if you can, into a second one, and call those accounts inspiration and celebration. If you can't spare £2, then just have one savings account and move £1 over. If you're talking cash, it can be 5p. When I was being paid cash, it literally was 5p sometimes. But I would put that silver coin on one side for celebration and for inspiration, so that I knew by the end of the week or the end of the month, there would be enough for maybe a bottle of wine or a bar of chocolate, or maybe some flowers. And it's saving for fun, saving for life, not saving for a rainy day. No, 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 no. Save for your life, so that there is something for you to celebrate at the end of the week that makes you feel good about yourself. And if you've got enough cash on the inspiration front, you might be able to buy a webinar, you might be able to buy a book, you might be able to go to something that's going to enhance your prosperity consciousness even more. And that's really the way to do it. Then pay the bills. Now, the bills may be £50, £100, £500, the rent, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. What matters is the order in which you do this. So give it a go. It really is extraordinary how effective this is. Now, you can find me on Facebook if you want to, or my website is maggywhitehouse.com, Maggy with a Y. My website on Facebook is Maggy Whitehouse Spirited. It's also for my stand-up comedy, which I do as well. But you can find me there. And if you contact me directly, I will send you an article on tithing absolutely for free to help you remember how to do this, because it's extraordinarily good. Got me out of £50,000 worth of debt. Didn't do it overnight, did it though. And you will find that prosperity will start flowing to you, because your guardians, guides, God, whatever you want to call it, now understands what you want. The discarnate angels, the discarnate and the angels are not living the life we live. They have to rely on how our thoughts are. And our thoughts are generally, I need more money, I haven't got more money, oh God, that government is going to destroy me, I haven't got enough money, I haven't got enough money, it's awful, I can't do it, it's unfair, it's mean, the fat cats, this, that, and the other. And you've just put out 20 negative thoughts to one positive one. And guess what? In the law of karma, what you put out, you get back. Ask and it is given. You've just asked for more of the negative stuff. That's how the universe works. So rule number 3, not really a law, it's a strong suggestion. Quit complaining. Stop complaining. Watch how often you complain every day. We are not living in Nepal in earthquake situations. We are not living under the rule of the Taliban. Yes, it's tough, but you have the power to turn it around. You can do it. You are worthy. You have angels on your side. You have all sorts of resources free all over the internet to help you with this, and you can turn this around. You don't need the government. Yes, you need the benefits at the moment. Yes, you also need medicine from the National Health Service. You will get that, but you can enhance your life hugely. And one final thing, emotional freedom therapy, tapping. Very good at clearing emotional blocks. I go to a guy called Brad Yates on YouTube. I find him really, really helpful. But you find whichever therapist you like best on YouTube. Do it. Do the work. Try these. They can't hurt. And my goodness, they can make it better. May you be blessed with all the prosperity you can possibly want. And thank you for being here with me today.